right. Look, our next guest is New Zealand's greatest living or dead playwright. He's written, 50, 60 plays in his long career. He's a knight of the realm. And, we were talking about Fair Go earlier, reminiscing about Brian Edwards and things that were, for perhaps people of our generation, cultural icons. And one of those things was the TV series Gliding On, which was an adaptation from a play called Glide Time, which came out in 1976 and incredibly accurately reflected, as great drama does, the idiosyncrasies of public service life in Wellington. It went on to become Gliding On, one of, I think, our seminal pieces of television. And its author has gone on writing other work, Share Club, Middle Age Spread, helped write the movie Footrot Flats, and he's still going today. He's Sir Roger Hall, and he joins me on the line by phone from Auckland, I think, now. Roger, lovely to have you with us. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Look, I tell you why I'm talking to you, because I picked up the Post newspaper, which occasionally publishes things I like. And it talked about this latest play, End of Summertime. And what I loved about End of Summertime, which is on at Circa at the moment, it's by you, and it's being directed by Ross Jolly, who have, of course, played the smart-ass office character in Gliding On, which is very part of my cultural history as a young New Zealander. Roger, you clearly haven't given up the desire to put pen to paper to bring characters to life.
No, I haven't. COVID knocked everybody flat for a while in the theatre because all the plays were cancelled, and so there was a backlog. So I stopped writing for a couple of years, and then I can't honestly remember what made me just pick up the pen, so to speak, the laptop, to write End of Summertime, and the character Dickie Hart, who was originally appeared in Come On Black.
Oh, did he? Which I can remember seeing. Another good play I forgot to mention.
Well, it's worth just spending a short time on that, because I had a friend went to South Africa in 1995 to watch the World Cup, and I had the idea of writing a play about 7 or 8 All Black supporters, and it would be a jolly romp, because everybody assumed we would win because we were the best team.
That's right.
And we didn't in the final, and I was a bit shattered by that, so I switched from a group play, a whole lot of supporters, to one play, Dickie Hart, who really talks about the miseries of being a sports supporter, an avid sports supporter, when you lose. And so it was about losing, and then about his own life. And then a few years later, he reappeared when he moved. He was a dairy farmer. He moved to Wellington, and that was called You've Got to Be Joking. So, yeah. And then he popped up again.
Okay, what is End of Summertime about?
Well, it's this character who his wife says she's sick of going up to Auckland to see the grandchildren all the time, so we are going to move to Auckland, which, of course, is a terrible thing for him. He hates Auckland, he hates the blues, and he doesn't know his grandchildren very well, and then he has to move and live in an apartment, which he doesn't like either. So it's his transition with coping with Auckland and coping with living in an apartment, and the fact he's just getting older, and in the end he has to cope with COVID as well. Is there something autobiographical in this, Roger? Oh, good heavens! Well, you are very sharp. Well, yeah, inevitably, yes, we have moved to Auckland, but it wasn't because of the grandchildren. But we are with our grandchildren. Some of our grandchildren are up here. We do live in an apartment, as it happens, and I have to say I liked Auckland from day one. But inevitably, and in fact, to be fair, nearly all my plays are something autobiographical. That's the best handy piece of research you have on tap. I think one of the reasons they work for New Zealand audiences, Roger, is they are kind of real life brought to dramatic fruition, and they're incredibly accurate in terms of just the behaviours of everyday people, which is what I think made Gliding On so amazing. Would you ever... Well, that's true. The people... Yeah. Sorry.
No, carry on.
Well, it is true, and I'm going back to Clyde time. I still remember when people arrived at the theatre. By and large, New Zealand plays in the 70s were about our past. And people came into the theatre at Circa and saw all the desks and the government life calendar on the wall and the radiators, and they began laughing because it was their world and they hadn't seen it on stage before. So it was that great shock and pleasure of recognition. And it's still there, I think. People are, some of my plays I call elbow nudges, that you see couples sitting in the audience nudging each other and saying, oh, this is us. In fact, one couple walked out of one of my plays at half-time saying, we can get all this at home.
Yeah. I can always remember a line, I'm pretty sure it's yours, one of your characters, and I think Gliding On or in Glide Time on the phone saying, look, Mum, I've got to go. I've got to get back to work. It's almost morning tea time.
I think it's, I can't talk now, Mum, it's tea time.
Yeah. Well, I can remember my first summer job, I don't know, going through files in an insurance company in Wellington, and someone said it. And I'd seen the play, and I just went, wow, this is really, that play told me the way the world was going to be. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you was, would you consider, in the age of post-COVID, and I'm still in Wellington, many of the public servants, you wouldn't call it gliding on now, you'd call it zooming on or Zoom time. Would you consider reworking the life of a public service? Do you think you could reprise that work for the year 2024?
I don't think I could. I mean, when I wrote Glide Time, I was actually a public servant. I was working for school publications and loved it. Best job I ever had. I just completely out of touch with what the public service working everyday life is like, except they seem to be getting laid off and they brought back on. Although we didn't have consultants in those days. Can you imagine what a wonderful life that was? No, the short answer is no, I wouldn't consider it. Someone should,
because I think it would still resonate, or having that mirror held up would still resonate, Roger. Roger, it strikes me too that, theatre, there is much to occupy our tiny little minds these days. Social media is so dominant and is changing our world as we talk. Twitter, Facebook, 8chan, 4chan, Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, blah, blah. Are you on any of these things or not?
Nope. Well, partly, the thing is I'm on my laptop more or less all day, every day, and I just don't want any more things coming into me. I get numerous numbers of emails a day, and I enjoy that very much. And I just don't want anything more. I'm aware I'm missing out on certain things. And
no, you're not. Can I tell you, Roger, you are not.